we're here to talk about the bird flu. It's been in the news a lot recently. People might be hearing about it a lot, but not necessarily know what it is or what it means. Can you break it down for us a little bit?
Sure. So bird flu is actually a respiratory virus. It's a subtype of an influenza A virus that is circulating in wild bird populations, but specifically aquatic birds such as ducks and geese.
Okay, so it's been in the news a lot recently, like I said before. How widespread is this really?
So currently, the virus was first detected in early 2022, and since then it has spread throughout all 50 states. In Maine, it has also been found in many counties. There has, however, not been a case in wild birds since about May 2024. It has also spilled over into dairy cattle, and so it's been spreading in dairy cattle across the country. And most of the cases in humans have been linked back to exposure to dairy cattle.
And I'm glad you brought that up. You know, spreading to humans. Have there been any human cases in Maine quite yet, or is this just the wild birds?
There have been human cases nationwide, dozens of them. In Maine, we are lucky we have not had a single case yet, and hopefully keep it that way. And most, as I said earlier, it's considered to be primarily low risk, but those people that are, in contact with dairy cattle or livestock and other poultry might have a higher risk, and otherwise it would not be something that's a huge concern for most everyday Mainers. But
okay, and it's not really a huge concern for anybody yet. You said the big points of contact, it is with those wild birds or with other poultry and dairy cattle. If people are concerned, how can they protect themselves?
That's a good question. So if you have an animal, and so like you have a pet or yourself too, you probably don't want to be touching any dead birds.
Okay.
So if you are working with animals, just basic sanitation practices and good biosecurity practices if you're a farmer, in terms of being proactive about keeping, washing your hands, not moving equipment or animals and people across farms without basically cleaning them in between, or just trying to limit your contact with that in general. But if you have, animals, like just keeping them indoors will reduce the risk, as well as keeping them in enclosed, covered structures. So if you have like a backyard poultry flock, for example.
So it sounds like the risk for people in general, and especially here in Maine, is pretty low for people to get the bird flu. But if there's any symptoms, what should people be looking out for?
So currently the strain that's circulating is causing quite mild symptoms. So it's similar to flu. You might have like fever or respiratory symptoms like cold, runny nose, things like that. So it'd be similar to like having some other kind of respiratory virus. And so there haven't been many severe cases, and the big concern really would be the mixing of different influenza viruses. So, and that virus could evolve, and so that's something that people are really keeping a close eye on.
All right, well, it looks like we're just about out of time for tonight. Pauline, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us. We'll be back with your full weather forecast after the break.